Lawmakers have begun to view their work as a career instead of a temporary duty. Because of this, more time is allocated to raising re-election funds and campaigning instead of the vital work they were elected to do. Now, the work of Congress is not only vital to our society today, but for many generations to come. I'm very interested in politics and current events, and stay involved with many aspects of our government. There should be congressional term limits to fight corruption within Congress and focus Congress back on policy instead of re-election. However, some believe that regular elections already serve as term limits if needed and would take power away from voters. Congressional term limits would fight corruption within Congress. Over many years, officials can be swayed by large special interest groups who will pay large sums of money to officials who are willing to help them. These special interest groups are often not what the general public wants. Also, over a number of years, politicians will begin to find ways to use the office for personal gain. While not only fighting corruption within Congress, congressional term limits will focus Congress back on policy. Congressional term limits will focus Congress back on policy instead of re-election. The longest serving senator was in office for 51 years, and the longest serving representative, 59 years. Lawmakers have begun to view their work as a career instead of a temporary duty. Because of this, more time is allocated to raising re-election funds and campaigning instead of the vital work they were elected to do. While congressional term limits will fight corruption and focus Congress, some believe that regular elections already serve as term limits if needed. Some believe that regular elections will serve as term limits if needed, and that congressional term limits would take power away from voters. If a congressman is doing a good job, then the voters want to be able to re-elect him over and over again, as long as they feel they're doing a good job. However, the corruption of politicians is often not on display to the general public. So even though voters think they are electing a good and honest person, they may not know completely what that person has been involved in. Because congressmen and women are so good at hiding their corruption, voters may not be able to tell how well of a person they are electing. Congress should have term limits for a number of reasons, like fighting corruption, focusing Congress, fighting large special interest groups, and ensuring that no person will ever use the office for personal gain. Today I explained that congressional term limits will fight corruption within Congress and focus Congress back on policy instead of re-election. I also explained that while people feel that power may be being taken from them, it may actually be helping them out. If Congress had term limits, the United States would be set up for a much brighter and prosperous future.